Hey y'all, welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving week. Today we're going to be making a highly requested video. Y'all have harassed me about this recipe. Honey, it's going to be Southern style cornbread dressing. Now this is a simple recipe, but a lot of folks just can't get it right. And I'm going to try my best today to try to help you out, okay? So what I'm going to do now first is start out with a big pot, okay, a large pot. I'm going to be using my Dutch oven here, all right? So you want to take your large pot and you want to put it on top of the stove, all right, just like I have this. And then I'm going to add a whole chicken. I'm using a whole chicken because I just like making chicken stock, and I need that for the gravy to go on top of the dressing. And also, it just tastes better to have the mixture of white and dark meat. Okay, this is a biracial dressing, okay? All right, that's what we're going to do. So you're going to sit your whole chicken down in there. If you don't want to use a whole chicken, y'all, you can use just bone-in chicken breast. Bone-in, not boneless, okay? You need that bone up in there to make it sopped up, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is just take some sliced bell pepper and onion and some celery and put it on top of the chicken. Don't matter how you cut it, just throw it in there because that's just going to help us make that homemade stock that we need. So as you can see, I didn't cut them any type of way. If you want to use frozen bell pepper and onion, you totally can. And I'm going to use some celery stock here. I'm using the leaves and all that. Just make sure you wash your honey because they have all that grit up in there and you get somebody sick. Okay, don't want all that dirt up in there. You have dirty stock. That ain't sopped up. Then we're going to put our onion on top of there. And as you can see, I'm just covering the chicken with the celery, the bell pepper, and the onion. Like I said, you can totally use frozen vegetables if you want, because they do have the celery, bell pepper, and onion already cut up in the pack in the frozen section. If you don't want to do all that, then just use that, okay? Then we're going to cover the whole chicken with water, all right? As you can see, get some good quality H2O, aka tap water. Ain't nobody got time. Don't be using no bottled water, honey, for this. Y'all know y'all be trying to be bougie out there. Don't do that. But just pour your water on top and just stuff the little veggies down up in there just like that, like I'm doing. And then we are going to season it. Now, what I want you to do is be very careful with your seasonings because you don't want the stock to be too salty, but you do want to have nice flavor. So I'm going to use some garlic powder, onion powder, and I'm going to use my what? My chicken bouillon, because this right here is better than chicken stock. Chicken stock to me don't taste like number water. I like to use the powdered bouillon, then add water to it because it's more concentrated. Just give it more flavor, honey. So you can find this in your grocery store on the aisle, okay? Just get you some chicken bouillon powder and just sprinkle that on top just like that. And just be careful. I will list all the measurements in the description box below, but it's to taste, but don't make it too salty. And I'm going to add a little bit of paprika for some color. I don't care what y'all say down in them comments. We're not using smoked paprika and Hungarian paprika and all that. We're using regular paprika. Don't taste like nothing. Just need it for the color, okay? So I'm going to add all of my seasonings on there just like that. And you want to use garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of bouillon powder, and some black pepper and paprika, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to push that down in there just like that, see? Make sure them seasonings get down up in that water. You see like that right there? That's what you want, okay? Just make sure you just get it nice and nestled in, honey, like baby Jesus swaddled up in that manger, okay? You want it just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my heat on medium heat, and I'm going to cook the chicken for about an hour or so until it gets nice and tender, all right? Just take your time with this. It's worth it, I promise you guys. And just let it boil, honey, till it can't go no more. All right, so we're going to start with the dressing. Now, I'm going to use something very simple, honey. Just go and get that dollar cornbread. Now, do not use Jiffy. Don't use no Jiffy, honey. Don't nobody want no sweet dressing, honey. That's blasphemy in the South. Don't use no Jiffy. Okay, so this is just add water. That's what you want. Very simple. Just pour it into the bowl and then add a little bit of water, and then you're just going to make the cornbread according to the instructions. Just like I'm doing here. This is my favorite cornbread pan, y'all. It look like it ain't worth nothing, but honey, it make sure that cornbread be sopped up and have good old crusty edges. But this is very, very, very simple. We're just using a cheap cornbread because we're going to crumble it up and add all our flavors and stuff to it. So ain't no use to you doing all that extra because you don't need all that. Just use the dollar mix. I'm going to bake it according to the instructions and come out looking just like this. Then what you want to do is you want to let it cool, okay? Let it cool because I don't want you to burn your hand because we got to crumble it up. Once it cools, then what you're going to do is you're going to take your hand just like I'm doing, just like so here, and you're going to crumble it up. And it's nice and fluffy, you know. Ain't nothing wrong with using the dollar mix, baby. Ain't nobody got time to do all that egg and buttermilk and all that for us. You just crumble it up like that. Ain't nobody got time. So you want to crumble it up just like that. Get down to the bottom bottom, all that. You see, I'm just getting it, my hands in there. Use your hands, baby. Use some clean hands. Those are the best kitchen tools, okay? We channeling your grandma, your aunties, and your ancestors. And that's what they use. They use the hands. So as you can see now, all of the cornbread is crumbled up. We're going to set that to the side. And our chicken is done. Once your chicken is done and nice and tender, just like this right here, make sure you check it like I'm about to do. With a fork, as you can see, it's tender. Nice and tender. That's what we want. We are going to put a strainer over a bowl because we want to save that chicken stock. Okay, we're going to be using that chicken stock. So put a strainer on top of a pot, just like I'm doing. I just set it in my sink. Ain't no hard way to do this, y'all. Just put it on there, just like that right there. And you want to take your time. Now, make sure you use an oven mitt or two dish rags. You know how we do down here, black folks. We just use whatever we want to. Use 2 dish rags or a pot holder. And you want to just pour the chicken on top of the strainer, just like that. As you can see, it's straining all that stuff right there. And you want to let this cool, okay? Just let it cool because we want to pull the chicken apart. Now, I don't want you to hurt yourself and burn your hand. So you just want to let it cool just like that. All right? And as you can see, look, we got that stock. Look at that looking good and sopped up. Baby, make your own stock. That's going to make the dressing real, real good. Okay? As you see, we got the stock now. And now we're going to start making the dressing. So I'm pouring that crumbled cornbread into a large bowl, just like this right here. Okay? And then we're going to be adding in our cream of chicken and our cream of celery. Some people can use cream of mushroom and all that stuff. If you want to, you can use that. I'll list some substitutions down in the description box. If you can't find certain things, I'll list substitution, okay? I'm going to add in our stock just a little bit at a time, at a cup at a time. Now, with dressing, this is where people mess up. They either make it too wet or they make it too dry or they cook it too long, and that's what makes it dry, okay? So you want to add your stock about a cup at a time. So I'm using 3 cups of stock at a time, and then I'm going to put in my poultry seasoning, okay? Now, be careful with this right here, baby, because it's a make or break your dressing, baby. You have too much of that poultry seasoning that people are like, ooh, what's really going on? Don't do that, all right? Just add a little bit at a time. So I think I used about 3 tablespoons, and then I'm going to add in just some leftover celery and bell pepper. You do not have to add this if you don't want to because we cooked the chicken in it and the stock already has those flavors, but I just had it left over, so I wanted to add it to that, okay? And I also use a pack of the stovetop mix. I forgot where that clip went. Y'all know I be drinking wine sometimes when I do that, but it didn't record it, but I'll list it in the description box. Use a pack of the stovetop mix because it has great seasoning in it, and we just want to use it just for the flavor, okay? And it also gives the dressing good body to it, all right? And I'm just mixing it around just like this right here. Now, I know it don't look like nothing. Look like we about to go feed it to the hogs, baby, in the backyard, okay? You know if your family don't raise hogs, you know this is some type of stuff you'll fix. But no, it's going to be real good. No, it don't look like worth of nothing right now, but I promise you it is. So I'm just mixing it up, as you can see, trying to get the consistency right. I added about 3 to 4 cups of stock, and it's still a little bit too dry. With dressing, you want to make sure it's a little loose because we are going to bake it so it can handle it, okay? This right here is just, you see, the consistency ain't quite there. It's still a little too stiff, honey, just like a little girl at the prom that can't dance, okay? You need to loosen up a little bit, okay? So we don't want it to be that stiff, and I keep showing you guys that consistency with only about 3 cups of stock in this recipe. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep mixing it, and then I'm going to continue to just add my stock, okay? So I think I used about maybe 5 to 6 cups of stock, okay? Had a little bit too much. I'm going to add me some softened butter to that, okay? Because you want that softened butter flavor in there. Y'all probably like, what? You add softened butter? I do. It helps the dressing get nice and brown, and it does taste better with the softened butter, okay? So you just got your softened butter. You're going to mix that around up in there just like that. Get everything sopped up in the creases and the crevices just like that, child. And now what I'm going to do now, let me see what I'm going to do. I don't know. Let me see. Oh, I'm going to add our shredded chicken. All right, so you add your shredded chicken. When the consistency starts to look like that right there, you want to add your shredded chicken. Like I said, I'm using half of the chicken because I'm going to use the other half for something else. So I'm putting my chicken in there. Now, once you put your chicken in there, you'll see it's going to get a little stiffer. That ain't what we need. We want it to be looser than this. So once we added the chicken, it stiffened the mixture up. This is where a lot of people go wrong. This is how the dressing get dry as a nun's vagina. We don't need that, baby. We want it to be sopped up. Okay, so now I see that the consistency has changed. I'm going to add a little bit more stock. So that's another 1.5 cups of stock, and that is going to loosen the dressing up. Okay, so once you see the consistency is maybe a little too dry, just add you a little bit more of that homemade stock. And I want you to taste it. Taste it as you go, because it don't have no eggs or nothing in it, so you can taste it. Taste it and see how you like it, okay? If you want to add a little bit more poultry season, a little bit more garlic powder, onion powder to it, then you can do that. Now, I will tell you that it really don't need no salt, but I will suggest that you use some dry seasoning. I don't know what was going on with my camera right there, but y'all just work with me, okay? It's the holidays. You know how we get to drinking and stuff. But this is the consistency that you kind of wanted, just like this right here. All right, it's kind of ready to go. It's not too soupy, but it's just right. That's the consistency that you wanted. Now, I'm going to bake mine in a buttered cast iron pan. That's how I like to bake mine, but you can use any oven-safe dish, like a casserole dish if you want to, but just make sure you kind of butter it and get that butter all around the edges, okay? Just like that. So you want to pour into your oven-safe dish and just spread it out just like I'm doing, just like that right here. And we're going to bake it on 375 degrees for about 40 minutes. Do not overbake your dressing, because that's how it gets dry. But pull it out at about 40 minutes, and as you can see, it's going to look like that. See, that's what that softened butter does. It gives it that nice brown crust, just like that right there, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. My camera was just acting crazy. And as you can see, look, if you tap your hand, just like put your hand over it just like that, it may feel like it's not done, but it is, because as it kind of slightly cools, it will stiffen up, okay? So 40 minutes or so, bake it that long, and you're going to see that it comes out looking just like this. It is not dry. It still has a good creamy texture, just like that, and it's not runny. Sometimes people don't bake it long enough, and it be still runny, honey, running like Jackie Joyner Kersee. Boy, it be too dry. You be like, child, what is this? I need some water. I'm choking up on this past the Hennessy. No, we don't need that. We want it just like this. So as you can see, the consistency is really, really good, just like this right here, y'all. And then what you want to do is you want to just now plate it up, just like we're about to do. We're about to plate it up. We're gonna add that gravy on top. I will put the link to the gravy in the description box. Don't you worry. And then we're going to just drizzle that gravy just on there, just like that right there. Looking all good and sopped up. That's what we want. We want the dressing to be just like that. And if you like it like I do, you can add a little bit of cranberry sauce on there, just like that. A little bit more gravy, baby. And that's it. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. I can't wait till you guys make this and tag me on Instagram and let me know how it turned out, child. And if you want more Thanksgiving recipes like whiskey apple pie and sweet potato pie and all that stuff, make sure you grab my cookbooks down in the description box below. I got all those fabulous recipes in there too, okay? Next time, y'all. See y'all later. Goodbye. Have a good Thanksgiving, y'all. Bye-bye.